MPs are now out in their ridings, enjoying the summer holidays after a very tough final session. Prime Minister Trudeau, I think he had a pretty good start after winning the election in October of last year. He met us, the press gallery, this week on Wednesday to talk about his various accomplishments. And among them, he spoke about the CPP deal. I think that was a big accomplishment, not because it's going to make dramatic changes anytime soon, but because he thwarted Ontario's plan to go it on their own, and I don't think that would have been a great thing for Canada. He also talked about tax cuts and child benefit plan. He didn't mention the Syrian refugee thing in great detail, but that's obviously another accomplishment. I think it supports what we see in the polls, that he's up over 50% approval rating. His voter support is over 40%. That shouldn't be totally surprising because he also has limited opposition. Mulcair is a lame duck. He's on his way out. Ron Ambrose is a fantastic official opposition leader. I have to say she's very talented, but she's also made clear she's not running. So there is no real obvious other choice for Prime Minister. So he's going to float up there in the stratosphere for a while. I met with Trudeau last week in Vancouver. We had a long interview. It was the second lengthy interview I've had with him in BC in the last couple of years. And he's a very personable guy. I've interviewed Prime Ministers going back to Mulroney, and he obviously has a lot of charisma. And he's easy to talk to. And we saw it after I finished the interview. He walked over to this big crowd of Canadians that were greeting him and cheering. And it was totally spontaneous. No one knew he was going to be there. That would have never happened with Stephen Harper. Not that he would have given me an interview of that length in any case. I would say that there are three issues that might be of concern to him in the coming years. I'm not saying he can't overcome them, but I think they're challenges. One is, of course, the oil sands pipelines issue, which I've talked about before. I don't see how he can't offend either Albertans, British Columbians, Quebecers, or a combination of the three with his choice on that. The second thing is housing in Toronto and especially in Vancouver, the affordability crisis. What is he going to do? He talked about it in the election campaign, said we're going to look at all options. They announced in the March budget, oh, we're going to study it. And then this week on Thursday, he gives another announcement from his finance minister. Yes, we're going to study it some more. We're going to spend the summer studying it. And meanwhile, prices have gone up almost 30% since the election. So I think Vancouverites especially are going to lose a little patience with the government's lack of action on that. And the third thing, and it is somewhat related, and it's on immigration. The government has brought in a very aggressive immigration plan to bring in a lot of family members. It's going to be the highest level of immigration since before the First World War. And Canadians, of course, we embrace multiculturalism, and we're the most positive country in the world towards immigration. But as we saw, we're obviously not the same as the UK, but in the UK we saw last night that people voted in favor of breaking off from the European Union. Immigration, I absolutely guarantee you this vote would not have gone that way if not for public concern about control over immigration. So I think Trudeau as well, he's going to relax the visa requirement on Mexico. That'll bring in a lot more immigrants, thousands, and I think the public could be concerned about that, especially given the connection between high immigration and high real estate prices.